And so if I'm having that experience, because we have to have a place where we can rest and we can really kind of translate everything and find the meaning from our day and integrate what it is that we've learned and integrate what it is that we've given, right? So we need that capacity to have a safe harbor, to have a safe place and a safe home so that we can have a homecoming. Now, when I'm talking about right livelihood, I'm also talking about the capacity to put that current of energy that I have moving through me into the places that give me a feeling of meaning in my life. So for me, it has a lot of meaning to me to write. It has a lot of meaning to me to do my mentorships during the day. It has a lot of meaning to me to paint my paintings. Also has a lot of meaning for me to, I make my own jewelry. I don't wear other people's jewelry in my ears. I only make my own. So that has a lot of meaning to me, and I choose my stones carefully. Stones and bones. Yeehaw! I choose my stones and bones carefully. But all of those things have meaning, and they add richness, and they're beautiful things that I do with my time, with my life, and with the current of energy flowing through me. Okay? Some of those things I receive currency for, a current from another person, energy, electricity for, and some of those things I don't receive any current or currency for from anyone else. They are things that make me feel alive. They're things that make me know that I'm in touch with the divinity that is this being alive. And it's this divinity that is being alive. And it is an intimacy with life. Okay? And so when we're looking at the currency that's moving through us, there's probably more than one thing that we want to be placing that currency on. Okay? And so what are the things that you want to be placing your currency on? What are the things that really assist you in knowing who the fuck you are? You know, what reminds me of who I am? What are the things that I can do that remind me of who I am and of what I love that is not in any way relationally dependent? Okay, what is it that I deeply love? And for some of us, that might be nature, that might be entering that silence with nature. It may be spending time with my animal friends. It may be that I need to just rest and spend some time with a book I've been wanting to read for a long time. It may be that there's a poet that I love. I love Tagore, and Tagore has such incredible short and long pieces. And just to sit and read Tagore and reflect, right? That is something that I can do for me that has meaning, that adds to my energy, that adds to my currency, that adds to my current in life. So what we want to know is that our livelihood is supported by our authenticity. And so if my livelihood is supported by my authenticity, and my authenticity is supported by my congruency, so my congruency is supported by my capacity to have my heart and my mind and my spirit all go in the same direction. Then what I know for certain, is that the only way that I'm going to keep a commitment is if all of those things are matching. If it is authentic for me, I will keep the commitment. If it is congruent with my nature and with my values, I will keep the commitment. If it makes me feel lively, alive, like what I'm doing has heart and meaning for me. Now there's going to be days, I mean, trust me, I love my job. I fucking love my job. I love my job so much, and I feel so grateful and so blessed. I really thank Spirit every day for what I have the honor of doing, and that I get to love what I do. But there are some days where I am dragging ass, and I got 6 mentorships and a class I have to teach. And I'm just like, all I really want to do is lay down right now, you know, like, God, if I could just lay down, right? And get back up. If I could just lay down and get back up, you Because there's some days where it's just like it's not fun. Not every, livelihood is going to be fucking fun every single day, and we're just going to love it every single day and everything about it every single day, and it's going to be so great every single day, and we're just going to love, and we're just going to be, a little joy bunny, Energizer joy bunny, and, drive all of our friends crazy. Right? And so what I find really interesting is that the commitments that we keep, if we have that authenticity and we have that congruency and we are able to keep that commitment, that's going to come from our guidance system. Okay, that is going, oh, sweetie. That is going to come from my guidance system. What is my guidance system, right? Because I cannot do any of these things. We cannot do any of these things. These are not things for us to do. These are things that the spirits help us to do. These are things that our own soul, which we stand in the center of our own soul. We are not, our soul is not in us. We are inside of our own spirit. And that's the energy that animates us. We are animated by this energy of the soul. And so if I am animated by the energy of my own soul, I need to be connected to other spirits and other helpers and other beings that are going to assist me and let me know when I need to make changes or how I can connect intimately with the work that I love or when would be the right time for me to do that. And they care about you. Your soul, your spirits, the grand and wonderful and beautiful divine can talk to you. This being can talk with you and talk with your spirit. And it's that divinity that is going to guide you to ever deepening experiences of your livelihood and of your practice. Because your practice is really about your relationship with the divine and the capacity to follow that guidance. The guidance systems that I work with are the guidance systems of the heart, the spirit. Okay, it's that, some people call it that still small voice. I call it that really loud voice that's yelling at me saying, could you just listen for 5 minutes? I've told you this 100 times and you're like asking me again, So it's that voice that lets us know this is the right thing to do. Now, what I like to do with that voice is I like to bargain. Like, are you sure now? You want me to do that now? Or do you think we could just, maybe next week or so? And it's like, no, right now. And I feel like the reason that I am able to, my students will sometimes ask me, last night as a matter of fact, someone said, how are you still standing? Like, how do you do? And it's like, I follow my guidance. Doesn't mean I don't bargain. Doesn't mean I don't try to, not do it sometimes or have a conversation about it, about how not happy I am about right now, But one of the things that I know is that a lot of the spirits or your guardians, your angels, however you want to call them, they don't have bodies anymore. So sometimes you have to let them know this is sleep time, people. We're going to have sleep time now. Like this is nap time, okay? It's 2 in the morning. We're not doing this right now. But the important thing is that that's another guidance system. So that's a time when the spirit is going to come and speak with you. Usually that's an ancestor time. If we're waking up between midnight and 2, that's an ancestor time. And so we want to honor that our ancestors have a little message for us. And we can also say coffee tomorrow would be great. Let's do coffee tomorrow. That would be marvelous. And so we can also have limits and boundaries around it. But the bargaining doesn't usually go that well. But, they will respect the limits and boundaries. The bargaining is the issue. And so there's different guidance systems that we have access to. One is the heart, the capacity to go into our own heart and to ask our heart, what is it that you need right now? How can you do what you love right now? How can you be committed to what empowers you right now, instead of, well, I'm going to do what feels good later, I'm going to do what feels good in an hour, or, it's how can I commit to what is good and true and lasting for now, for right now? What would make me feel lively in my personhood right now? What would empower me and the people around me right now? Why do I have to wait until next week? Or why do I have to wait until I, finish this project or that project, or, quit this job and get the other one, or, I'm free of all the jobs and I'm able to be a freelancer. We have to take care of ourselves, but we can feel alive in our work. And sometimes our work is changing. Sometimes our work is in the process of changing. And my spiritual practice, too. My spiritual practice is constantly evolving and changing and becoming more and deeper and different. And it's marvelous. But, here we are, wait a minute, oh my God, it's so familiar, and I got the paycheck, and it's so awesome, and we dig in our heels. And that's never, that's not a good feeling, to be dragged with our heels dug in. It's not fun, because the mystery is going to do what's best for us. It's going to do everything in its power to try to get us to our right livelihood. It's going to do everything in its power to get us to a place of feeling empowered by what we're doing. Feeling empowered and feeling a sense of joy around what we're doing and a sense of worth around what we're doing. So the mystery will continue to give us signals until it really gets our attention. And the issue here is that sometimes we'll be so busy bargaining that we just let the opportunity, we don't catch the opportunity, we don't, God, I could have been painting for 6 hours today. And what I did instead was I, did the dishes, and I called 3 people, and then I had to call the bank, and then I, had to go ahead and drive the kids over to, it's like, why? You didn't, it's like, my partner had the kids, and, really, those people don't need to be called until next week, and you know what I mean? It's just, so we'll do all of these things that get in our own way of our own sense of liveliness and self-love and self-respect and empowerment, So, cool. It opened for her before she got here. That's cool. Spirit says yes. I love what David Riccio says. He says we have to say an unconditional yes to life. An unconditional yes to all the givens. To all the givens of life. And I really like what Jason Espada says. He says, if it is true that we can tap into powers beyond our usual abilities, and that we can transmit helpful, healing energies, then why would anyone choose not to pray? Perhaps overcoming disbelief happens slowly. In a materialistic society, spirit and more subtle truths are denied. In many ways, from many directions, every day, until it is the dominant view that such things do not exist, and all possibilities, and I do mean all, are temporarily shut out. That breaks my heart. All possibilities are shut out. Here I can only encourage or implore people to experiment honestly, as experience of spiritual truth is the only antidote to such harsh anti-life materialism. Harsh anti-life materialism. So I think that when we go deeper here around our life dream and around right livelihood, it's about, what do I really need? What do I really need? And I moved from a 2,600 square foot house a couple of years back, so about a year and 9 months now, to 450 square feet. And I can tell you, I've never been more blissed out in all my life. And, and it was a beautiful house and everything. Everybody called it Char's Chateau. It was beautiful, and I loved that house. And it was too fucking much. It was too much, right? And so, what is it that we really need? And my brother is getting ready to build a tiny house. I don't know how well that's going to go with the adolescent daughter, but my niece.
Tiny houses.
Yeah, she's gonna have her own tiny house, yeah. I was like, Conrad, I mean, you and Miranda will be fine, but I don't know about Hopi. She's gonna have some high entertainment value on the 150 square foot thing, you know? I'm like, she's gotta, you know, she's doing stuff. Don't do that to her. Anyway, that's my not so humble opinion about all that.